Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you find yourself in this weird, wild, wacky world we live in. Welcome to another exciting session of Chronicles of Darkness, Vampire the Requiem, a Requiem for London. Tonight, we find to the best of his knowledge, currently searched for individual known as Mr. Irons, who has made his way serendipitously through some parts of the city, mostly trying to stay out of CCTV cameras, and he finds himself in the shade, in the darkness, in the shadow, just outside a workshop, maybe a chop shop, maybe an old car shop, which Ali had given him the address to. He sends her a text telling her, "I'm outside."
Okay. Yeah, it's definitely like a little bit of a rundown, not very fancy looking chop shop on the outside. You can see through the windows, like there's some security lights on in the shop, but you can see a little bit further into the shop that there's like actual lights on. So just the front is semi-dark, but just looking through the window, you can see like there's light further down. And you get a text back, which says, if you walk around the back, I've turned the camera so that they won't face the door for a hot second, so you can just enter. Door is ajar, and yeah, as Marcus does so, he will find himself in a chop shop. There are a couple of old, like secondhand cars that are there. There's the smell of car fluids, fuel, oil, lingering in the air. The place is relatively well kept, even though it looks old. Um, the floor is clean. Any kind of gear that you see is well kept. Instruments have been neatly placed back to where they belong for the night. And yeah, if you follow to the back, you actually see Ellie working on her bike. Actually decorating it almost with a clover and just some minor details, really. It seems that she's just been doing that to sort of keep herself busy, because as Marcus arrives, she will put the spray paint down and wipes her hands.
Nice
You made
little
it.
work.
Good.
Oh, yep. Nice little workshop you have here, I have to say.
I just work here the odd hours. Like, owner is a good friend, and yeah, I can come and go whenever I please, and just help out if he needs help. It's not like yeah, it doesn't really need any pay. I get the hours I work, but you know,
Sounds fair.
it's more of like a friend thing, if any. And I like, being busy with my hands. It helps me think.
Yeah, there is something to be said for crafting something. You can really focus your mind on it.
Yeah. Plus, it saves having to buy a new vehicle every 2 weeks when I'm being noticed doing something I shouldn't be doing, according to certain people.
Hmm. Yeah. A shame I had to ditch the Vandura. It was a good machine. Third hand, of course, but
Uh,
yeah.
I mean, well, next time, don't ditch it. Just, if you're not being seen, just ditch the number plate and bring it over. I could get you a new one.
I'll keep that in mind. But yeah, I had to react fast. There wasn't
Yeah.
really much time for idling about. I have to thank my lucky stars that the police cars that were driving past me didn't notice anything or hadn't been informed yet, so was able to slip out.
Yeah, man, that sounded like quite a mess. Sucks.
Mm, yeah, you think you know a person, and then you
I
realize you
mean,
don't. Yeah.
maybe not immediately judge a book by its cover, but if it's just me, I would be, well, careful. But then again, it's your um, group member, basically, same faction member. You probably know him better than I do. Just
Mm,
had one time, well, apart from an occasional conversation, I just had the one investigation with him. And, well, he was running on less info than I had, but he was definitely running.
as much as I would like to help him, A, I couldn't think of a way, and B, yeah, past actions have a funny way of coming back to haunt you if you don't deal with them.
Hmm, I mean, it's just speculation. I don't have any facts, but unless he's been doing other semi-criminal stuff and got involved in gangs, this is the one time that I know he got a little bit too much involved.
Mm.
Like, I don't really know what he did, but he just went all out on them. Like,
Almost as if he were a predator and just, yeah, wanted to exert dominance.
I
Brilliant.
suppose.
Adventurous saying that of all kindred.
Hmm.
Guess we've got the bad habit of just wanting to do that to people. I'm glad I've been so far able to. I've been trying to mitigate it, but yeah, reading up on the history of my clan has given me a little bit more perspective on, for the lack of a better word, our nature.
I suppose. I wish I could say the same. I haven't really read up on my help. I mean, until like a few months ago, I didn't even know who my grandsire was. But that is an entire issue all in itself. And doesn't really matter much. Not for, the greater scheme of things.
Of course, she's an interesting lady. I'll give her that.
Yeah, no, I agree with you on that.
Mind you, her grandchild is not disappointing in that fact as well. He gives you a faint smile. He's obviously trying to be positive.
She grins. You know, see how things run out. It's I have the feeling that, like after yesterday, after that conversation, kind of have the feeling that I thought, I was sort of on top of the game with all this.
Yeah, you thought you had it figured out. You thought, yeah, I'm seeing the patterns, and then it turns out, yeah, we were only seeing half of the picture.
Yeah, not just that, also the fact that apparently I could have saved myself a lot of trouble if I had gone to talk with Joshua sooner. But I don't know, man. Is it bad that part of me is still sort of like worried? Like, however you turn it, he is still a member of court. And
Mm,
like he told everything, so I'm inclined to believe him, but I'm still just a little hesitant. Like, what if there's more? I don't know. Might just be me. It's probably just me.
mm. Well, I'm no expert in such things, but an old mate of mine always said, "Who would profit, cui bono, from from that?" Then again, so far, when he swore something, he kept his oath. When he said he would tell the truth, so far as I've been able to see, he's done that. For all intents
Yeah,
and purposes, he has shown himself to be an honourable person.
I mean, I have no reason to necessarily doubt him, but like like you said, who um would gain from it? Well, I mean, I'm not sure how well the prince is informed over the fact that I am investigating this his little drugs business. But what if your Joshua is just trying to find out if someone was?
Laying an elaborate trap. That's what you're saying, right?
Yeah, just saying that, But I just have to talk to I just have to talk to the Carthian leaders. Like, if he was lying, then
I would assume your faction has got kindred of all stripes of clans, right?
naturally.
And from the little I've been able to gather from Stanforth, as in how he works, how he operates, he comes across as a rather competent fellow, and I'd really be surprised if at a meeting like that he wouldn't have had a Nosferatu lurking in the shadows, maybe a Meket from above, observing, watching,
Hmm.
and so on and so forth. That would really surprise me.
I presume so. Like I said, I just don't know, man. It's I might just be a little bit too paranoid, I guess.
Yeah, it seems to be it seems to be a trend with our kind. He chuckles.
Yeah, but then again, can one really blame us? You know?
No, not really, because I think deep down we know what we are doing is a transgression of one form or another.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean that we can't try to mitigate it to a certain extent, or try to balance out the bad with some good.
I mean, for now, I'm just gonna assume that he was truthful, and like I said, until I talk to Stanford and he confirms the deals and everything,
Hmm.
ultimately, I can't see other people's actions. Just adjust my own accordingly.
At the end of the night, you can only really be responsible for yourself, not really for anyone else. I mean, unless they were your children or people put clearly in your care. But that's a totally different story. Never mind that I brought it up.
Yeah. I mean, even then, they are responsible for their own actions, as are you. But they don't need to account for their own actions yet, so their responsibility is less, like a kid.
True. Yeah. Also, here, funnily enough, that is something I actually had to learn from, well, how should I say? Nature has a funny way of sometimes giving you the answer right there in front of you, but you first have to recognize it. When I figured out how to deal with animals, how to speak with them, communicate with them, interact with them, the thing about trust is that sometimes you have to give it first. You have to give in order to receive. Not something that comes easily to our kind. I'm fully aware of that. But as far as I see it so far, Joshua has done that, so until further notice, I'll just assume that he was telling the truth.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. But yeah, yeah, really nice workshop. When all this is over, I would like to get myself something similar, and then start making stuff. I really don't like the fact that so far I've only been seeming to have been destroying things. I want to create. I want to make something, look at it and say, yeah, I added something of value. I didn't just take and take. Ugh, there I go again. Sorry, just an old fool rambling.
I mean, I can get it. Like I said, it helps to, clear your mind, and yeah. So I get you.
Yeah. Plus, my grandfather worked as a blacksmith, and call it a silly little dream of mine, but I'd always thought maybe a little later in my life that I would like to take it up and see if I've got any aptitude for it. Yeah. When I was a kid, he actually let me make some nails and some simple blades, and I had a blast of a time. It was cool, just creating something with your own hands.
Yeah, yeah, it's nice to just be busy, and it's nice to be able to do something that's, that actually matters. Like, I know fixing a car or bike or whatever, it's not like, working in a hospital and being a doctor, but still, it's something that, people are grateful for, and I like that. Plus, like I said, it helps for when I need to change something on my bike, because, like, changing a helmet or biker gear isn't that much of an issue. Changing your bike itself, yeah, yeah,
Makes
a little bit
sense.
harder.
Yeah, agreed. So yeah, we find ourselves at the eve of war.
I mean, at least all out war. I think war has been, well, that depends. When is a war?
Yeah. And as silly as it sounds, it's at least nice to know that if you already go into conflict, that it's at least something that matters, that is worth something. Let me haul out a little further. back when I was alive and I was in the Air Force, is when we went out and we fought the enemy, it was for the benefit of others. It was to keep people back home safe. Now, of course, it's disheartening when later on you find out that those were pretenses, but at that very moment when you're doing it, when you and your brothers in arms go in, storm, and take the conflict to the enemy, you know that you're fighting and doing things so that others don't have to, so that mothers at home can play with their kids, fathers can come back home from a long day's work, just, enjoy the company of each other, so that peace can be at home and not be brought by others. So I guess in some ways I'm just repeating or trying to repeat some things that I did in life. Guess some old habits die hard, eh?
Don't we all occasionally?
Yeah,
I mean, it's still how you were raised, how you were born. It's not that weird.
yeah. You want to fight so that you protect that is dear to you. And it's something that's not only affecting us. They are messing with people. They're messing with mortals, human beings, people who have families, people who care about them. Probably ruining lives, ruining relationships, let alone doing horrible things to people who I'm pretty sure didn't deserve it. That has to stop. It's
Does anyone
bleeding out.
deserve?
Sorry.
Do you think if could you think of anyone who would really deserve to be experimented on in whatever way, shape, or form? Because I don't think so. Imprisoning someone who did a bad thing, sure.
Yes.
Experimenting on them,
No.
no.
That goes too far. The societies we come out of, especially we younger kindred. I mean, a good few of us are from the 21st century. Others from the late 20th. We have grown up with concepts and also been taught about what it sometimes means to keep your liberties. So, let alone that they're trying to make slaves of all of us. And I don't know if it's my Ventrue blood talking or if it's just the good old stubbornness of more my human nature, but I don't want to stand for that. I'd rather die standing, a freeman, than on my knees as a slave. I just can't abide that one way or another. And that it's bleeding out into the mortal world? No. Our conflicts and troubles should be ours and should not that heavily be affecting others who have no idea of what's going on.
Well, let's hope it won't take too much time, though. But I'm sure it will.
Yeah,
I'm glad to see that at least the Carthians are coming through, and that we're ready.
I'm happy to hear that. It's going to be interesting to see how the Order Dracul will fare in this. I won't lie, I've got some very mixed feelings about my Covenant.
I mean, I don't think everyone of your covenant is involved. You didn't know about it. Pretty sure that Goodman didn't know about it. I
No.
know of some. There was actually, as she's thinking back as her player is quickly grabbing her blue booking,
Hmm.
because I need to look up a list of names. Ah, yeah. No. Wrong list of names. Shit. I have too many names or too many things. Yeah. Let me see. Uh, no, okay. Never mind. I'm pretty sure that not everyone is involved. Like, I'm pretty sure. So, when I started to investigate it, I actually caught up with a member of the Invictus because I heard through the grapevine that he was also looking into it.
Mm-hmm.
He was definitely not aware of it, and when he got too close, he got into some pretty bad shit, man. We got him out, but they were definitely willing to murder him. So, what might be interesting for you to look very carefully into, I could help as well, but I think if I could, I would have already known about it a little bit. But what would be interesting is to see if you can like isolate those who are in the know within your group
Yeah.
and could get other people maybe get some of them out, like if you think that they are not going to run back or betray, you know, this entire mission thing, but it's worth trying to get people out. Like, I'm pretty sure not all Invictus are involved. I think it's mainly the House of the Prince. Maybe a few others. I can't know. I can't trust them. I can't send word out. But
Yeah,
you know,
without risking something, yeah. Risking blowing it way before it should be.
hmm like I got one of them out, and that was fucked up, man. I don't even know what I would do if my like, the Carthians are sort of like my family. I wouldn't know what I would do if they would try to just go out and try and murder me. But yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah, yeah. If I get the chance to save anyone, I'll try. But I'm not making any promises.
I mean, I think luckily that I can say that the Carthians are definitely, safe haven. So yeah. And I meant what
Makes
I said
sense.
yesterday, dude. If you
Hmm?
need some assist, if there's anything, like, I may not have a haven, but I have friends who have places that they live in. If you need a place to crash, then Guardians do look after each other
Hmm.
or their friends.
Yeah. So yeah, he is the fun thing. I sometimes find it very interesting. My first mission, for the lack of a better word, sort of seems to have foreshadowed something that I probably should have just realized then and there. So when I was in Kingston upon Thames on the Prince's orders to investigate if I could find an individual that he had sent out to have a look into the revenants, I got there. I managed to get into the building thanks to Bowater, and as I found something, one of the revenants came out and wanted to murder me because not unwrongly, she thought that if that info were to go to the prince, they'd be able to find where they were and exterminate them. And whatever the hell possessed me at that point, I decided that that was a person who needed help, not being hurt. So I did my utmost to try and calm the situation and let her help me help her. Bowater took the CD with the information and changed a few things around so that when I got back, I had something that I could hand him to. So far, that was the only time that I can say with a good conscience that I actually lied, that I actively lied to someone in this city, and more importantly to the higher ups. But yeah, and then when the information came down the grapevine that yeah, they were declaring a genocide on the Revenants, yeah, that how should I say that? Yeah, it seems very symbolic that already then I felt that something wasn't right, but I couldn't put my finger on it. I was still very blind to what was going on. And yeah, being an Order Dracul, I won't lie, I feel very much two ways about it.
I'm pretty sure they're not all involved in it.
So do I. So on the one hand, I know of mysteries, and when I was initiated, I made a promise that I wouldn't be giving them out to non-Order members. So sorry to disappoint you in that aspect. And
I'm not trying to pry. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah. It's good to laugh a little bit, but anyway, what I'm trying to get at is they have pushed the boundaries of what Kindred can do with our quote unquote natural state. Thanks to what I've learned, I was able to keep my cool during the day as there was sunlight pouring in from the front door only inches away from where I was sitting and being guarded by policemen. And it even allowed me to suffer the damage that I did. And I would like to say that at this point, Marcus seems to have healed whatever burn damage he took from that day. But yes, I was able to keep my calm and react rationally and try to mitigate the horrific damage that had happened, as little as the mitigation might have been. Yeah, so it's not all bad. That there are ways that you can improve yourself without having to experiment on others. The worst that might happen is that you'll have to do a little bit of experimentation on yourself, but hey, you know, no risk, no fun, I guess.
Yeah.
So that's that. But on the other hand, I can strongly sympathize with why you Carthians do what you do, as occasionally misguided as it is.
We're never wrong, she says with a smirk.
Oh, honey, we're all wrong at one point in our existence. Making errors is very human.
I'm very well aware of that. I just hope not to be wrong on, well, the major things.
Agreed. Agreed. If I could have my choice again, I probably would have gone Carthian, but then again, for all I know, it was all set up that I'd be inducted into the Order Dracul, so that's the most frustrating thing when you know that in the past they put in commands in your mind and then something triggers it and it happens and you didn't know, and you sometimes question your own thoughts, that your own memories, just a nagging feeling in the back of your head. I don't know, man. It's fucked up. I have to say. I mean, I've seen shit, but this is fucked up.
And are you sure that your memories are right now? Like that I won't just say like something and that triggers you?
That's the weird thing. So far, it was only one thing, and it was very specific. However, that might be a reason that if there is a fight in the shard or around it, I might want to go to a different hotspot just in case.
I mean, you guys can do that little like dominate trick, right? Like you did that. Maybe
Yeah,
someone.
I've grown a bit more competent in that. I can enforce my will upon others, and they
Well,
will do it.
what I wanted to say is that maybe you could find a Ventru you trust, see if they can, like, I don't know, explore your brain,
Mm,
sort of fix what's broken. I don't know. I don't know how that shit works.
mm. Yeah, that's something I've been looking for with fruitless results. Was trying to find an old adventure that I might apprentice myself under, for the lack of a better word.
Hmm. I mean, I only know the one Ventru that I trust at this matter, but
Hmm.
I don't know if he's older than you are. Like, I mean, older in years, yeah, but and I don't even know if he's willing.
Mm. He doesn't know me. Why would he want to do that?
Well, because he allied himself strongly on our side for this case.
Hmm.
As I got him out of his own house, as his own faction was trying to bang down the doors, the police on their side.
He owes you a great debt, one could say.
Hmm. It's more that I think he would be willing to do it if it would help, resolve the situation.
I definitely would prefer to know what was done in my old goggle box up here, and yeah, maybe even try and bend some crooked things straight, if you catch my drift.
Hmm. Yeah, I can always ask him if you're willing to trust me on this.
He gives her a very long and very thoughtful look. Mm. If you want trust, you have to be willing to give it first. But I'm not
Well,
doing
what do
this
you
out of
know?
blind naivete. I have seen your actions. I've seen that you are willing to put yourself in harm's way in order to save others, especially the last mission we were there together. That was brave. That took character. I will trust you with this, in this case. I don't want to be a goddamn Manchurian candidate.
I mean, I'll ask him without mentioning for who it is. If he says no, then he says no.
Fair enough, but can't hurt to ask.
Exactly.
Yeah, so that's that. But yeah, I shall see how things go. Mm. One other thing that I've been thinking about, and frankly that I know about, is even if things went very squirrely with at least a section of the London Order Dracul, if I were just to up and leave and just move to the other faction, they'd be going, and yeah, what about all the knowledge in your head? We can't risk that.
I mean,
Suspecting
I don't
treachery.
know. Have people not, like, switched sides before? I mean, I agree. Right now, it would be problematic, but hey.
That's the thing. It would give other kindred the idea that yeah, he seemed willing enough to just switch sides. What tells us that I wouldn't do the same thing when the Carthians were not in ascendancy? You know, that sort of argumentation, and that's just a dangerous place to be in.
Mm.
So yeah. But at least I know that I have some Carthian goodwill, at least with Bowater.
It's good to know you can trust.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong, I think you guys are pretty cool. And there are definitely a lot of things I agree with you guys. And some things I definitely don't agree, but minor points. Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, enough of me bringing the mood down. Damn it. Maybe I should be the one wearing the shirt Captain Bring down. He chuckles.
I mean, I'm pretty sure I can get you one if you want it.
No, thank you. An old guy's rule T-shirt would be sufficient. He gives you a silly grin.
Yeah, there's a printer thing right down the street, so
It's okay. It's okay. Who knows? Maybe sooner than later I might start be walking around with a different face. Wow, just the sheer idea boggles the mind.
Yeah, that's sort of like, I get it, but oi, I don't think I'd do it, in all honesty. But I get it.
Mm. It's a good way to fake my death and throw the police off my scent.
That is very true. That is very true.
I didn't kill anyone. I even managed to get at least one guy out of there. It was so messed up. But yeah, with all those dead cops, you can bet my sorry ass that they have me connected and would just love to interview me, to put it mildly.
Yeah.
So that's that. May I offer you a cigarette? And he produces a fresh packet of Lucky Strikes.
Sure, but um, the shop is no smoking, but the office is fine. Like, the old man smokes all the time.
Lead the way.
Yeah, she'll get up from, like, the little stool that she was sitting on, and will walk a little bit further. She'll actually close the lights in the garage part of the shop, and just goes all the way to the back, where there is, like, a very small office. It has, like, one desk and a couple of chairs, like one behind the desk, two in front of it. There's like a coffee machine there. It's a little bit more of a mess because there's all sorts of paperwork around. There is
Hmm.
indeed an ashtray on the desk with like cigarette butts in it and a little bit of ash all around it. It's obviously been overused. There's still like an old phone that even has the wire to like the horn. There's an old computer there. Ali will just grab one of the chairs. That's Yeah. It looks like people sit there who are like who are taking a break. So there's probably some oil stains, like in the fabric of the chair, and you still have that smell of oil and fuel here, but it's not as present anymore as it is, of course, in the shop. And she closes the door and puts like the ventilator on, like the air conditioning, I should say.
Yeah, good idea. Not that we really need the oxygen, but it's a nice touch.
It's a thing of habits. Like when the old man was in, and every time, like later on when I was working here before, he always told me to put it on because it would keep the smell out a little bit. Else the smell's going to drift into the shop, and from there on. So it's
Hmm.
better to just have it out on the street.
Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense. And I found for myself it's good to have the routines. It's good to have some habits. You know, even if we aren't the way we used to be, it helps us remember.
I mean, the guy doesn't know, and I'd like to keep it that way.
Oh, don't worry. I'll be the last one he'll hear from it.
I know, but that's also why I'm keeping the habits in.
No, it's good. I find it stops me from as silly as it sounds. It helps me more easily empathize with the living. Just the habits, the thing, just reminding yourself of, oh yeah, I used to do that. Yeah, that did used to annoy me. Mm. And he'll offer some fire to Ali.
Yep, she'll take it and takes a drop from the cigarettes. Just calmly blows the smoke out as she's sitting.
Yeah, yeah. Guess I should also get to the main reason why I'm here.
Oh,
Um, I know it's a little early, but I thought something that could be very useful, uh, especially if I would have to do some sneaking around or just getting info, or heck, even just luring enemies or people away, would be the ability to dive into the earth and become one with it.
I mean, I mostly use it just to sleep. You
Yeah,
don't hear much when you're below ground.
that is true. But yeah, just the ability not to have to actively seek out a place, and yeah.
Hmm. I mean, I'm not gonna deny it's been very useful. Like,
Yeah, still, I know I didn't know, and I know we didn't know, but I still feel a
just
little bad for your
it's
nice
you
place.
say that every time it gets brought up, and I understand it was not a nice place. It was damp, and but it was my place. I get it. It's fine. It happened. Just let it go.
Mm,
If you're gonna keep say sorry, I just don't want to talk with you again. Okay?
the yes, mom. He gives you a small salute.
She raises up both her eyebrows, and that's like, oh well, okay. It's just that this is the fourth or the fifth time that you've been apologizing, and look, if we could have seen how things would have happened, we would have done things differently. It's always easier to say on hindsight, oh, how could I not have, or why was I so stupid? But it is what it is. We dealt with it. I feel more bad for, the guy that didn't,
Yeah, who
than for
didn't?
me losing my house.
Yeah, yeah, poor fellow. Yeah, he really didn't deserve that.
No, he didn't.
I only had, yeah, I've, I'll let you in on something as far as my dominate goes. For the longest time, I was only able to do 3 or 4 word commands, and even then, I think I just had a bit of an internal block, mental block that wasn't allowing me to access a more advanced version of that. Now I can give several sentences, more complex commands, and it works. But I first had to come to peace with the fact that I have it and that I have a responsibility how I use it.
I mean, isn't that always the case? We always have a responsibility. Doesn't matter whether we hold a knife, a gun, or, the power to look into people's minds and change it.
Yeah, that's true.
It's just a gun, but in a different way.
It is. Or like being able to grow claws, or
Yeah.
even turn into I don't know, a giant grizzly bear, a goddamn Bengal tiger. I mean that. I mean, I've heard others. Nothing against the gangrel, but giving the gangrel shit for being as animalistic, supposedly, as you are. But I just see the awesome power that you guys can wield, and just go like, guys, do you really want to antagonize the gangrel? Sounds like a bad idea. They can
I
literally
mean,
rip you to shreds.
yes, but you could stop us with your minds only. There's merit in what we all can do, and there's danger in what we all can do. That's all I'm saying. Like, don't get me wrong, it's pretty cool. I see some of the shit that, or I hear about it. I haven't really, like, I'm not that amazing yet. There's no grizzly bear fear for me.
Mm. You're not going to be mauling me anytime soon. Good.
Probably not. No. Besides, I wouldn't maul you if I didn't have a reason.
Yeah. Mm. Yeah, so that's that. And with that, when we get the chance, when we get the time, I would like to offer you to teach you the ability of the very fundamental, the very basics of the discipline of dominate, and in exchange, I would wish that you would teach me how to do what you can, at least the earth melding part. Um, I have been led to believe that that belongs to the fundamentals of your clan's signature discipline. Please correct me if I'm wrong.
You're not wrong. I would need to, before saying yes to such a thing, like,
Hmm.
I'm not gonna lie, being able to use that mind thing would be extremely helpful from time to time. But I would need to ask Messiah how that shit goes. I'm not that old myself, you know.
Hmm.
Well, I wouldn't necessarily need to ask her, but I would like to have her advice on it. Let's put it like that.
Hmm. Agreed. I haven't really taught anyone any dominate yet, so it would be a learning curve for me as well. But I do know it is possible. I have read about it in some of the Audit Recall documents.
Mm. So let me just think it over a little bit, and I'll get back to you.
Sounds fair. It wouldn't be right for me not to say that the fundamental of this discipline is the fact that you are imposing your will upon another will. That is an aspect I can't lie about. Well, I mean I could, but I don't want to. That is only fair that you would know that. It is, to a certain extent, a clash of wills, if you will. But with some training, let's just say the chances that you gain the upper hand increase with age and experience and practice, of course, like everything.
Yeah.
I know I'm not selling my point very well, but you have been nothing
No, it's cool.
but helpful and honest with me, and it's only fair that I give you the same back.
I appreciate it. Yeah, no, just like I said, let me think about it, mull it over for a few nights.
No. Makes sense. Makes sense. It's also not everyone that I come and offer that in the first place, because I wouldn't offer it to a person that I wouldn't have a certain amount of trust that they wouldn't go completely power crazy with it.
Yeah. Well, I'm planning on that. Like, I'm just trying to, get on in life.
All I ever really wanted when I came here to London was just, find a little corner for myself, build up a place I could call home. Just, just a place that I could get to and breathe through and see from there. But yeah, fate has had other plans for me so far.
Well, someday. Small victories. It helps.
Baby steps. Baby steps. Well, at least I've got a sports bag full of good old-fashioned hard cash and some good old silver and gold. You can't go wrong with that. Good thing I never really trusted banks.
I mean, in times like these, you kind of also need them. Unless you are going completely off the grid. Like, I'm not saying it's impossible, but yeah.
I probably would have to find someone who could also get me some new documentation. When I eventually want to rejoin society, if you catch my drift. But one thing at a time.
So you're really sure about this face changing thing?
I would like to keep my ruggish good looks, but enough joking. I don't really see much of an alternative, frankly. Don't forget, almost a dozen policemen died that day. That isn't something that the police forgets anytime soon. It's personal now. It's not just a job for them.
No, I get you. I get you.
I know I did nothing wrong, but
At
yeah,
least send me a selfie when you've done it, because I would like to be able to recognize you.
Out of character, could you please repeat that sentence? I didn't quite get it.
She said, make sure that you send me a selfie after you've done it. I would like to be able to recognize you.
Of course. Nah, my mates will have to be there as well, because if they don't see it, they won't believe it. That's something I'll have to say sorry about to them when the time comes, but needs must. And yeah, there are two very simple ways that you can identify me. One will be the selfie, and the other, and he starts rolling up his sleeve, showing you his SAS tattoo on the top of his arm.
She nods.
As he slowly rolls the sleeve back down. I mean, heck, if you want, we could even come up with some silly, goddamn, goofy code word.
Like what? Hopscotch?
You know what? Why don't we go for something topical? What Tyler?
What, Tyler?
Yep, the leader of the Peasants' Revolt back in the Middle Ages. I thought a Carthian like you might enjoy the nod.
I am not very much of a historian, but sure, why not?
You know what? Then they would never suspect it.
I mean, it's a good thing you tell me up front and not be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna just name a random person and you'll surely recognize it because
I'm not, I don't know, 100-year-old elder who thinks that everyone just has to get the stuff I say. I mean, we've got Kindred walking around who were around before there were steam engines, so I can't expect them to know all the references I drop, and sometimes I wish they would think, would bother to think that, maybe that fledgling there doesn't quite get what the hell I'm referencing, because it's like 3 lifetimes away from his experience.
But sure, yeah, we can do the code word.
Yeah. Okay, so there we go. Mind if I have another cigarette before I jigger off?
No, by all means, go ahead.
He pulls out another, lights it, offers you another one as well.
Why not? She'll take it.
Yeah. Well, at least this shit can't give me cancer anymore. He takes a nice deep drag.
I suppose not.
Yeah. Plus, I'd also be interested to see what form of governance the city would settle into. He knocks on the wood of the table, assuming that everything goes well, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe some habeas corpus and some innocent until proven guilty would be nice. You know, some Magna Carta kind of shit.
We'll see. We'll see. Like, I'm pretty sure Stanford would, do a fine job at it. But yeah, I don't know. This isn't over yet.
Nope, it's only beginning. Yeah, I hope that in the meantime, the person that means a lot to you is, safe and sound.
Yeah. No, as far as I know, she is.
I'm happy to hear that. People like those are really important. They also help us stay sane to a certain degree. I know, an unpopular opinion, but pff, screw their opinions.
Yeah, well, I think she'll be busy with this as well, since, uh, Crone, but yeah.
Yeah, my guys are okay for the moment, but I will have to be careful. I will have to be very careful. I only wish I had a place that I could send them outside of the city. It'd probably be better if they were not at all involved.
You could always send them on like a paid vacation or something. You know?
Yeah, I wish I had the funds that I could just full-time employ them, like as my bodyguards or something in that direction. Yeah, you know what I mean, security. Then I could also give them just holidays as they needed if I just send them out, and they might lose their jobs. Then again, when all is said and done, I might just finally be able to do what I had planned to do and up my funds a little bit. Then I could fully take care of them. But yeah, the sweet moolah. Always goddamn.
Who knows? This entire war might make you rich.
That's not the reason I'm joining in, but I won't lie, some spoils of war would be nice.
I mean, of course not. I didn't. But ultimately, if you do a good thing, sometimes, karma has a way of getting back at you. In a good way. It isn't always a bitch.
Agreed. Yeah. I've also had some really nice moments in my life, and periods and stretches of my time where I was just happy. Yeah, she doesn't always sneak up behind you and force you to bend over, but yeah, she's capricious, that's for sure. But yeah, our actions, our decisions and the actions that follow, and the reflection that they give of who we really are. God damn it, Harry, your words are still haunting me. Sorry, that with Harry I mean my old and good mate who was helping me, and just was shit out of luck. Fuck the wolf and fuck him for killing him, draining him dry. One night I'll avenge him. I've sworn that. There has to be some justice in this world. If not, I don't want to live in it.
I mean, well, you make sure of that there comes justice, like, you know.
How did Joshua put it? We are God's reckoning. I wouldn't put it quite that grandiose, but
Hell no.
yeah. But I think I get what he's trying to say. Yeah. After all, evil does rear its head if good men do nothing. Not that I say that I'm a terribly good man, but I try to be.
I mean, good and evil are, you know, subjective. I'm pretty sure no one thinks of themselves as evil.
No. Plus, I would stipulate that it comes in grades, in shades. I'm not a big fan of just going like, okay, this is categorically evil, this is categorically good. There tends to be a little bit of both. But there are definitely just some things that can't be left to remain the way they are. What did the Order Dragul teach me? One of our two fundamentals are nothing is forever, and change has to have a purpose. I'm more than happy to live that part out. There needs to be change. Annie stubs out the cigarette. Thanks for humoring me and having me here, Ali.
Yeah, no problem. But please don't mention this place to anyone else.
What place? And he gives you a wink.
And she just nods. Cool.
The smell of oil reminds me of our old barracks. We always would also have some heavily armored Land Rovers around the corner, and of course, me and the boys, we'd always like to tinker a bit. I mean, I'm no mechanic by any one stretch, but I've jury rigged the odd Humvee here and there. Back in Iraq, of course. Yeah. And he stands up. Yeah, I think it's time for me to go. Good thing I'm not half bad at sneaking.
Well, you know, just wear a hat. Helps.
I managed to, yeah. I have to say, Google Maps and Google Earth are brilliant for stuff like that. I literally just Googled my way through, found a path that didn't have any CCTV cameras, well, apart from the ones outside, and was able to more or less sneak my way through. Yeah. I probably would have tried to have gone for the sewers, but I've heard rumor that the sewers south of the river are Clan Nosferatu territory, and who knows where the hell they stand on. Or even if it weren't even necessarily that case, who knows who'd be watching me and, passing on information. Yeah, so you were talking about paranoia earlier this night. I feel you, sister.
I think a lot of people are feeling it right now.
Yeah. Yeah, when everything has calmed down, though, there is one spot I can warmly recommend for you. The Roman Baths down in Hackney. A good few nights ago. Yeah, they're open until 3 in the morning. And they've got a fantastic Corinthian pool, and the water's really nice and hot. So when you come out, you're probably as warm as you've ever been. Plus, they've got all.
I've ever gone to something like that, but yeah.
It seems quite popular with the Crones, and I also saw some Invictus there, but as I said, that was a good few nights back.
Yeah, fair enough.
Back when I had the
Anyway.
feeling, yay, things are coming down a little bit. I can allow myself that. Yeah. Okay. Here's a fun life goal. When all is well and done, I think I'll just treat myself to a spa treatment. Fuck it. Why not?
Well, have fun with that, I guess. Doesn't really sound like something for me.
Okay. And if that's less of your thing, maybe we find ourselves a good mosh pit and just dominate the floor. How does that sound?
Yeah, better.
Mind you, I don't have the contacts for it. If not, I would have suggested an illegal rave. Those are the best.
I'm pretty sure I could find you one.
When all is said and done, we'll break out the glow sticks. Does it sound like a deal to you? And he offers his hand.
Sure, deal. And she'll shake it.
Cool. Anyway, have fun with your fantastic hot rod there. I have to say, I am a bit jealous.
Yeah, I mean, find me an old one and I can make it new for you.
Yeah, maybe some old banged up Triumph. Yeah, I wouldn't mind that sort of, like the proper old school choppers, but with a slightly British flair.
I can do my best. Sure.
Heck, if you'd allow me, we could work on it together.
I mean, sure.
Cool. But anyway, I've eaten up enough of your time, and
yeah, I'm gonna get a few more hours in here.
Yeah, and he'll just put his wide-brimmed hat on and give her a wink and just add before he touches the handle, stay safe, good travels, and may fortune be on your side. As he exits the building, as he is slowly exiting the building.
Mm-hmm. Now Ellie will walk with him to the door, and says, "Well, stay safe as well, and
hey,
don't die."
Yeah, hey, I survived a snowstorm and I managed not to get burnt by the sun by hiding in foxholes. I think I'll be fine. I'm a survivor. He smiles, and I would only like to add that Ali has seen Marcus in in different states of mood. Sometimes more despairingly than others, sometimes a bit more joking than others, but she's seeing a glint, a flame in his eye, a certain determination, and just a fierce sense of purpose glittering in the back. Obviously, Marcus has regained some of his confidence in himself, and with that, he disappears into the shadows with a straighter back, a stronger stride, a little bit more confidence in his step than he's had ever since you first laid eyes on him.
And yeah, Ali will just, turn the cameras right and just to put a few more hours on our bike. And I think with that, we can end the scene.
Yeah. With that, we zoom out. Thank you, players, for playing. Thank you, watchers, for watching. We hope you enjoyed yourself, and see you next time.